Hello, I'm Chris, the team rector of the Golden Cap Benefice. Thank you for tuning in to this week's midweek message. I've always been a bit of a sports fan, so it's been great for me of late to be stuck into what feels like a really good summer of sport, especially now that the crowds have been let back into sports venues, at least in part. And I particularly enjoy the rivalry and the banter that goes on between players and teams and their supporters. I managed to catch a little bit of the French Open tennis recently, and there was a gladiator style battle going on between Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic in the semi finals. And I hope for more of the same between Djokovic and Federer when Wimbledon comes around in a couple of weeks' time. We've also got the British and Irish Lions rugby team about to resume their 4 yearly battles with the big three, New Zealand, Australia, and this time round, South Africa. We've got the Tokyo Olympics to look forward to, and the usual battle for who can win the most medals, which is a battle that the USA usually win, to be fair. I'm not really a massive fan of football, but the ball's a funny shape if you ask me. But the European Championships are on and Wales are still in it, so it's got my attention. And the resumption of old rivalries between England and Scotland has been very hard to ignore, dominating the front and back pages of our newspapers and our TV news reports as well. But whether or not you're a sports fan, I'm sure I wasn't the only one who was deeply moved by the circumstances surrounding the Danish footballer Christian Eriksen, who collapsed during his team's match against Finland. Thankfully, the quick medical attention that he received meant that the news is much better and that he is recovering. But the scenes were extremely moving. The way that the Danish team surrounded Christian while the medical team were attending to him, giving him privacy from the millions, probably, of people who were watching. The way the Finnish players applauded the Danish players when the match resumed a few hours later. What really got me was the way that the Finland supporters were chanting, "Christian!" And that prompted the Danish fans to respond with, "Eriksen!" So two halves of the ground, Christian Eriksen in response, like the call and response of the liturgy that many of us are familiar with. They were profound and moving moments for putting aside rivalries, linking arms, and recognizing that we are all held by something much bigger than our allegiance to our team or the badges that we wear on our sports gear. That very moving moment was a collective recognition, if you like, that our sense of belonging in the world extends much bigger and much deeper and further than where we were born or which team we support or where we come from. But of course, none of this should come as any surprise to us as Christian people, because we are encouraged to always see ourselves by reference to God, the God who loves each one intimately and uniquely and unconditionally. Week by week in churches all around the world, we gather at a table to share bread together. And in safer times, we drink from the same cup to express our unity as sisters and brothers in the family of God. I recently had the joy of officiating at my very first baptism here as team rector in the Golden Cap. And it was a great privilege. And very soon after the dunking in water, we say to those baptized, "We welcome you into the fellowship of faith. We are children of the same Heavenly Father. We welcome you." It's another reminder that whatever our differences, whether we're male or female, married, single, divorced or widowed, whether we're gay or straight, or black or white, young or old, we are somehow held by something greater. And if we can acknowledge it, it enables us to see each other by what we have in common and not in terms of the differences between us, whatever our local allegiances might be. Of course, there's nothing wrong in shouting for your favourite tennis player or cheering on your favourite team. I'll still be shouting for Wales on Saturday, even though it will mean that if Wales win, for Denmark, the team that's become everybody's second favourite because of what happened to their player, it'll mean for them their tournament will be over. But I'll still be shouting for Wales. But ultimately, we are all sisters and brothers together as human beings, united by what we have in common, our common humanity, our common life, and our common death. We are children of the same Heavenly Father. So may God bless you to know your place in his family today and to see with fresh eyes the sisters and brothers whom God has given you to live alongside. Amen. And come on, Wales.